So today's lesson is super short. I just realized that we never addressed this, and I think it's a good one to address. So when you look at especially multifamily listings, you're going to see the occupancy. So 100% occupancy you usually don't see, but usually they'll list how many, like in a mobile home park or an apartment building, it'll say 88% occupancy or 12% vacancy. So occupancy is the opposite from the vacancy number. So they'll tell you how much is occupied, but I never mentioned that there's actual occupancy and then there's economic occupancy. And I don't know if you guys have noticed this when you're looking up property, but what they mean by economic occupancy, it means that you may have 80% of your apartments or your lots filled, but only, especially during COVID times, 72% or 68% or another percentage is the people who are actually paying. So just because your unit is filled doesn't mean they're paying. So when you see that economic occupancy number, that's what they're talking about. Is they're talking about, instead of calling it delinquencies or non-payers, they call it economic occupancy. So I just think that's the weirdest terminology. So I thought I'd bring that up because it bothers me. So every time I see it, I've been meaning to mention that for a couple of months now. So just keep that number in mind, because that means, like, if they have 80% occupancy, but they have 50%, I've seen these numbers, 50% economic occupancy, that means they have like 30% of the people not paying, or 20% vacant and then 30% of the people not paying. So that means you've got to either evict them or you've got to get them back on track, or you got to ask yourself, why do they have people staying there? Now, during COVID, it's a little harder to I guess, fault it, because at least in California, we can't, and actually across the nation right now, till the CDC moratorium ends, you can't evict people for non-payment. You can evict them for breaking other parts of the contract, but not for the eviction. So, for the non-payment. So right now, if you're shopping for a property and 30 or 40% of the people are not paying, I would still probably walk away until these eviction moratoriums are lifted, because they may extend them. So, but anyway, so if you see a number like that in normal times, you know that it's mismanaged. Maybe they just got people in there at too high a rent and now they're having trouble collecting. There could be all kinds of reasons, but you're going to want to be very aware of that number.